we had some strategy and we just stuck to it. Yes, but yes, yeah, it sounds funny. I understand it is funny, but the draft is not why we lost. We lost because of poor decision making, poor button pressing, poor form and so on. Well, you have Maelstorm, he has Dotascope. Maybe he can break the third game down and maybe see some details. Because in my understanding, we could beat them easily in 20 minutes. Hello guys, you are watching Dotascope, text by Maelstorm, voiced by Drunken Sailor. If you didn't understand yet, the subject of this video is the third map of the match between Natus Windsor and Virtus.pro on Epic League. According to Iceberg, they could win in 20 minutes with their draft, but the main obstacle was high amount of mistakes. Whether it is true or not, we will take a look at it. To start, let's get into the general picture of the draft. Navi bet on Draw Ranger pick, while VP countered with the Void Chrono. In order to protect her, Vengeful Spirit was taken. Not only can she swap Draw out of Chrono, but also buff her with the Aura. For extra pressure, Bears pick Storm Spirit and Navi counter him with Batrider, who easily catches him. VP chose Clockwork, who can create a lot of problems for yellows, while Navi answered it by Tusk, who has defensive abilities as well as offensive spells with stuns. Iceberg took a strong and durable pusher, DK. Position 3 Viper didn't have any specific tasks and had a complete freedom in item build. He is able to break the passives of Dragon Knight, Venge and Draw while also dealing high damage. Enchanter's task was to secure the lane phase for Void and deal additional damage with Impetus, which ignores any magic resistance or armor. Both teams arranged the lanes in a usual way. Void with Enchanters faced Tusk with Batrider. DK was versus Storm. Top lane included Viper vs Draw Venge lining for the third time. Clockwork was helping him. The game was playing until the 6th minute, when both teams wanted to contest the upper active rune. Navi gathered near the Roche, where they met Clockwork. They immediately decided to attack him with the help of ice shards. DK uses his ultimate with double damage, but it was instantly dispelled by Ilias. On the replay, it is seen that he made a mistake, using Enchant way too early, before the activation of DD, but Iceberg made a counter mistake, using DD right in cast time. While Storm took the Arcane Room from bot, and Viper was casually wandering nearby. As a result, Clock dies and takes DK straight to the bottom with him. As you can see, Navi made a really lot of flaws. They didn't get to the rune in the right time, which also was risky because of the cogs. They left the bot rune uncared of, and mutual misplays of Ench and DK mostly benefited VP. But it is just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. The most relevant consequences of that fight were the cooldown of DK's ult and Draw Ranger being forced to leave the lane with free farm. Do not forget about the 5-minute siege creeps, which might have been a perfect moment for Navi to take the tier 1 towers, let's say at the bot. But we only have a DK with no ultimate, who is only able to assist killing the Ench, which is irrelevant. By 10th minute, VP does the standard thing, gather on top lane, even though on enemy vision they take the tower. During that, Navi also tries to take the tower on bot, but do it with some delay, letting VP to quietly farm their forest. After that, Bears went sieging mid. And Ilias managed to put a very deep ward that will help them in future. Using Ench Creep and 10 minutes catapults, Bears pressure mid. Navi were not ready to take the fight since Drow farms the triangle, Batrider TP top, but Iceberg stepped into the fray. Venge cannot help him, since she does not have the 6th level, so Radiant killed DK without even using a chrono. After the DK, VP destroyed the tower. Virtus.pro boldly settled in the enemy forest, making Batrider go to bot. In that situation, Navi supports take literally 0 XP, which means that Venge still does not have her nether swap. Which means that VP can easily kill DK again. Still, the situation is a bit more complicated here. It seems like everything here is just an unfortunate chain of events, but it is caused by an formulaic and unthinked decision in a specific moment. Let's get back a bit, right to the moment when VP takes the top tier 1 tower. Death of Dragon Knight is not such a critical thing relatively to the loss of the tower. That is why Iceberg wanted to defend it so badly. However, VTune and General were completely right not gathering to the fight, since Navi's draft was not powerful at that moment of time. Remember our scheme. The main purpose of Venge is to save core heroes from various spells, from Chrono in particular. Epileptic Kid could just place it whenever he wants. Without having the 6th level, any fight is prohibited, which means that tower is to be taken. But without it, where to have the level? Any of these problems, especially the second death of DK, could have possibly been evaded by thinking in a bit of different way, to stop pretending like position 4 support must always be better than position 5 support, even in having a Tome of Knowledge. Tusk just bought the Tome for himself, but it was way more important for Venge. Roger already almost had his ultimate, and after consuming the Tome, he leveled up almost to 7th level, while Fly only took his 5th level. Team desperately needed the swap, not Walrus Punch. For those who doubt that Venge would have the 6th level, yes, with the Tome she would have the 6th level. At the 14th minute mark, thanks to the wards and cleared mid, VP understands that the enemy team is on the triangle and the only chance for them to start a fight to smoke. Bears play wisely. To consolidate that, let's see the Navi's opportunities. Sieging mid is difficult, since the creep wave is far away. Also there is Viper, not the best yet pretty durable target. They can go bot and after killing Clockwork take the tier 2. It seems like a good option, but the path is too long and Clock is very cheap but fat hero. The last way is to get deep into Radiant Forest and try to find the Storm Spirit. But in this case, VP used a scan, to be sure that there is no threat. The last option is to go top, and going top means fighting Void. But Ilias positioned himself in a way that he could not be ignored, which means that smoke is wasted. The only hero killed is Ange, and supports were not able to go and play the deep wards, so they put them way too close. VP immediately countered with their own smoke. Epileptic sees the Drow and Venge using that ward, and also the Tusk's courier trajectory. Batrider stays on top alone, without any deep wards to monitor the enemy's movements, which led Void to get a solo kill. Right after that, Safe managed to make 4 heroes to rotate. Then Navi wasted DK's ultimate on the unsuccessful gank on Viper. Ult is used, which means that they have to push at least. After the TP, DM goes to mid and gets himself into a trap. Because of that, VP knows that Navi commits 5-man push on mid tower, which means that Void can farm and push top without having any chances to die. Consider that Radiant still has their catapult attacking, while DM destroys the Dire's one. Navi are forced to press the glyph. After that, an interesting chain of events occurred. VP, having all the important spells, commits on top tier 2, knowing that Navi does not have DK's ultimate and glyph. After that, they control the outpost before the 20th minute mark. To fight for an outpost is risky, since the bears warded the forest and settled on high ground. That is why Navi decided to counter-push tier 2 on bot. Reminder, in order to control the enemy's outpost, at least one tier 2 tower must be destroyed. Each 10 minutes, the team controlling at least a single outpost earn additional XP, 350 experience for each hero at the 20th minute mark. In this case, VP benefits on 3 factors. First, they already destroyed tier 2 and controlled the outpost, they basically were faster. Second, Navi cannot hesitate and must do something before the 20th minute, since they already have less XP. It was obvious that Navi decided not to fight in their forests, but to commit to bottom tier 2. And the third, their outpost with the whole Radiant team is near the rush pit, while Navi is way too far away from it. Radiant go for ages. Dire are in the situation where they either lose their XP or Roshan. Imagine if Dire did not take the tier 2 and immediately ran their way to Rosh. In that case, VP could just relax with both outposts controlled. Probably, the decision to control outposts was also made because in the first game of the series, VP deprived Navi from having the XP ticks on 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th and 60th minutes mark, letting them only have the first and the last ticks. As a result, Radiant could not completely deprive their enemy from XP, but easily took the rush. 25 minute mark. VP attacked the mid tier 2, but after the opponent's rotation, they decided to take bounties and retreat. Navi uses smoke. A bad decision, since bounties are gone and there is nothing to fight for. Bear sacrifice clock and spreads along the map. Witnessing that Iceberg used his ultimate, VP used smokes themselves, and after the clock's respawn committed a good fight. Safe jumps on Venge, which is absolutely correct. While being attacked, Venge cannot effectively save the Drow Ranger, but she must do it since V-Tune is covered by Chrono. As was mentioned before, the swap is ineffective. Carry of Navi still stays in the fight's epicenter and is not able to deal enough damage and dies in several seconds. VP retreat, sacrificing Viper. "30th minute mark. Navi tries to attack, but this time Clock managed to get out. Storm dances in front of Batrider since General is unable to break the Linkens. Well, aside from using Lasso. But again, the K moment is hidden from our eyes. On the 28th minute mark, Ilias enchants a Centaur and sends him to push the bot lane. That is why in 3 minutes the creep wave is already near the Navi's tower and V-Tune decides to clear it. VP considers that move and kills the rush. Seems like a luck. I don't think that Ilias has planned that outcome, but it still was a good decision to push the bot lane without committing any heroes. Position 5 of VP was not lazy not only to think about that detail, but also control the creep all the way along by not wasting it and periodically using stuns. The lucky one is the hardworking one. And the decision to rush itself, seeing that Navi spread all along the map, wasn't done out of the blue. There is no point in breaking down the game further, since the VP's advantage was too high. In short, the game ended in several fights. Well, who would want to check the game always can check and see the mistakes.